Hi, how are you? My name's Elliot, and I'm with the Cub Scouts of America. We're selling uncut cocaine to get into the jamboree. Did you remember that scene? I don't remember that quote.
Yeah, no, maybe.
I'm in the Cub Scouts of America, and we're selling uncut cocaine to get into the jamboree.
Oh, heck yeah.
Not quite sure where that is.
That's at the halfway point when they're trying to sell to Elliot to get him interested in the cocaine.
Well, there you go.
This movie is pretty much No Country for Old Men, but cheery
Correct. Well,
and upbeat.
welcome back to Should You Watch This with a Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? I want to extend a bloody cocaine-filled welcome to the show. I'd rather be watching things in VR, Tribe,
Right.
and 1 million frequent flyer miles Cole.
That's depressing to think about.
Not since Bonnie and Clyde have two people have been so good at being so bad.
That's right. Oh, wait, I thought you were talking about us.
All right, here's the trailer.
Clarence and Alabama are chasing the American dream. The only problem is, half of America is chasing them. From the director of Top Gun and Beverly Hills Cop 2 comes a Bonnie and Clyde for the 90s. Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, True Romance. Rated R. Starts Friday, September 10th at a theater near you.
I don't think that's a fair description because they don't pursue it. It just kind of falls into their lap, you know?
Yeah.
It sort of happens.
Yeah, I agree. Again, this is Spoiler Zone. If you haven't listened to part 1, please go do so that right now and come back and join us because we're going to let some spoilers fly. Let's just jump right into trivia. How about that?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, pendejo.
All right, I only have 4. I handpicked 4 trivia points that I thought were cool. Gary Oldman, who, by the way, I just want more of that character.
It's a shame he's not in it more.
His voice is
He's mesmerizing.
mesmerizing.
Yeah, his presence in those scenes, there's just like, man.
Other than I would say, other than the scene between Walken and Dennis Hopper, are on par for the best parts of this movie, by far. Anyway, go.
Yeah, those scenes are really great because they like give you like that really like that real like skin crawling like crime den.
The tension.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to die and you don't know who.
Where it's like, oh, people are going to start like doing hard drugs around me.
just his dreads and his weird glassy eye, like
Yeah, it's his fake eye.
His
Yeah.
effed up teeth,
his
too.
teeth and his scar. Like, it's awesome. Anyway, Oldman met with Tony Scott about the project and told him he hadn't had a chance to read the script he'd been sent. Then asked Scott what his part would be like. Scott told him, quote, "You're playing a white guy who thinks he's black, and you're a killer pimp." Oldman laughed and immediately accepted the role. Sounds great, dude. Let's see.
Because yeah, he does definitely like. It's weird that he can like he pulls it off because like if it were just like white guy trying to sound like like a thug, it wouldn't. It's weird that he can do it in a way that's convincing and like not comical. He's like still like a really like skin crawling like unpleasant. He's menacing. Like
it's scary just like being in the room with him.
Yeah,
because like you say that and it's like he's gonna be like hey brother, something cheesy like that.
He said
it's weird that he can do it, but Gary Oldman
in his like trailer. And he heard someone outside talking, and he's like, it was some kid, and he's like, get in here and read these lines for me. And he used his
honed in on that.
Yeah, he used his affectations and created that character. And all of his stuff that he did was his ideas. He brought them to Tony. He's like, I want dreads. He had a wig maker Oldman had a wig maker make his dreads.
That's crazy that it was like that level of involvement of like of actor involved like creation of it,
immersion in the role.
I mean, it makes sense that it's the way that comes out across the way it does. Then, if you put that much work into it,
yeah,
because it's not that big of a part, but it is It stands out.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, here's another one. Brad Pitt found the hat he is wearing in the kitchen sequence on the boardwalk in Venice Beach in California. He took it, washed it, and wore it for the film. It kind of reminded me when Stallone found the tarp in the woods and wore it in First Blood. He
he
cut a hole in it,
creates his own
and he just
poncho,
puts it on, and then that becomes his poncho, and he just found it. I like that.
True drifter.
According to Hopper, the only words that were improvised in the scene with Christopher Walken was eggplant and cantaloupe. The rest was all Tarantino's script, which I don't know how you could ever try to improvise anything in that.
Yeah, you got to be. Yeah,
got to say what's on the line,
I guess.
And not talking about the subject matter, of course, but just the way they performed.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's
awesome.
Walken has tremendous menace in that scene. It's
just from sitting down.
Like his presence there is just like, you're like, oh no,
that's the king of New York coming to pay you.
You have been singled out by a god for punishment,
the
kind of a thing.
Yeah, the devil is sitting down with you.
And there's a testament to Dennis too, because there's a moment where the tension shifts a little bit, where he's like,
where he accepts, but he knows how it's going to end.
I want the cigarette now.
Yeah, because he knows it's over.
I'm out, and then he just proceeds to tell the story because he's like,
and he just eggs him into,
just give him one final middle finger.
It's so great. Last trivia I have is the scene where Virgil beats the tar out of Alabama was heavily trimmed by the MPAA. This is what I was mentioning last week.
That's crazy that he wanted it to be longer.
But listen to why it was trimmed.
I bet there was a lot more nudity and violence involved.
Tarantino recalls how they were less concerned with her being beaten than they were with her fighting back. She's too animalistic, they complained. So that's crazy.
That's weird. I mean, that is kind of the ending of the thing after she
once she
gets one over on him and then wins. It's kind of like that. Like she kind of screams.
It's crazy that you would
triumphantly.
I would have instantly thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, you would think, but they're like, no, it's like, no, that's normal.
I kind of wish they left it in there. I mean, even though I hate watching that scene, because
I don't know that it needs to be that long. I feel like as it is, it's okay. I think that you'd be flirting with it being too long.
It's fine. It's fine.
They try to put some more tension in there, but once they start fighting,
I think that might be too much.
Yeah, then it becomes a little more torture towards the end instead of
I mean, it kind of
torture towards the Gandolfini character.
No,
that's what they cut out.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like the more, if you were to drag that out,
it makes more sense that would be kind of like a surprise, like sudden turn of events that ends poorly for Tony Soprano.
Yeah. Well, get your beefs and your puzzles ready, because that's where we're at in the show.
Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef?
You forgot an important piece of trivia.
What?
Especially given the context with the current times. Following the eggplant scene, Dennis Hopper was concerned about being shot by Christopher Walken with the prop gun so close against his head for fear of being burned by the barrel. Director Tony Scott assured him that the gun was 100% safe and even tested it by having the prop man fire it against Scott's own forehead. But upon firing the prop gun, the barrel extended about 1/3 of an inch and Scott ended up on the floor with blood pouring from the wound. So he almost knocked himself out, trying to prove that it was safe for Hopper.
That's why they do.
Well, I put in puzzles. We haven't got there yet, but
sorry.
But there is something else to that too.
All right, perfect.
But that's why a lot of modern ones, even if they want to use real guns, they'll do CG for shots, so that'll have it be close because you can still die from a blank.
Mm-hmm.
So it says after Gandolfini, after he noticed Christopher Walken declined earplugs for the scene where Dennis Hopper gets shot. Mm-hmm. Gandolfini decided to do the same. He couldn't hear for 3 days.
Oh, yeah. And especially inside that trailer.
Cramped. It's a closed space. Yeah.
I bet nobody could hear for 3 days in that trailer.
Gosh, that's crazy. I didn't know about how the director got hurt.
It was like with the spoilers attached things.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that because if you just there have been instances where they just press it against their head,
just the fragments.
The gas has nowhere to go, so it just goes into your into your skull and breaks a chip off into your brain. They're not safe. Even though they're blanks,
terrifying.
It's happened once or twice.
Yeah, so that's what. And then you get squibs with Brandon Lee, where
it breaks off into your brain
because the amount of pressure from the gas,
such a forceful
because
impact.
it's just wax and gunpowder in a blank. And so like all of the gas just goes, if you press it against your head, that gas is just going straight into your skin.
My gosh.
And it can be enough to like break bone and stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All it takes is a little bit and you're either in the hospital for life or you're dead.
Jeez, man. Well, that's terrifying.
That's why it's...
Yeah, I mean, that's why you have... They're supposed to have armorers who aren't,
loading guns
nepotism cases who don't know what they're doing.
Loading guns with live ammo for no apparent reason.
Anyway. Well, we all know that guns don't kill people, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
Bullets do.
Only bad armorers on movie sets kill people.
Called rust. Mm-hmm. All right, here's my only beef. And it's not even with the film. You guys are gonna love this. The screenplay of this movie, and this is what I was alluding to last week, was originally part of a 500-page screenplay written by Tarantino and Roger Avery called The Open Road. The other half of it was used for Natural Born Killers. In both films, Tom Sizemore.
That's right, because Tarantino has like a weird...
he's got a writing credit.
He's got a writing credit on it, even though he says it's so different from what he wrote that he doesn't really...
Correct. And we talked about that in our review. Go listen to it.
Which is where you get where the similarities come from.
There is, kind of a similar... But if you compare the two, oh man, that actually makes a lot more sense why it's all like anti-TV and he's like, they're all pop culture obsessed. Yeah, but this one's good and that one's bad. So.
Do you know what my beef is?
Well, Oliver Stone was on drugs the entire time too. Yeah. That might have helped.
Yeah, how dare he say that we watch too much TV when he's
on acid.
When he's doing drugs.
My beef is with Natural Born Killers. What a terrible, awful movie.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's all right.
That's my beef.
It's fun seeing it once.
No, it's not.
It is.
It was horrible.
It's interesting in like a stylistic way. But yeah.
No, I hated it all. Any beefs you guys have with the film?
Let's see. Other than I guess that Christian Slater's a self-insert character. That could be a beef. I don't know that it's mine though. Like where he's clearly like, I have put myself into the movie. Because I mean, if he had been like cool, maybe then it would have been
we kind of talked about that.
But he's not.
He's not. But in my estimation, that's part of the charm of the character is him playing it. So I'm down with that. But I can see it.
I kind of have a beef with people saying this is Tarantino's best movie.
Oh,
I don't know which one's his best movie.
I was just about to ask you.
I think that's obnoxious to say that it's like, the best movie he made, he didn't direct.
Can you give me a top 3?
I can't.
All right, jeez.
I like them. They're all good. There's some I don't like as much.
Which ones don't you like as much?
I thought Hateful Eight was too much for me. I don't know why.
What do you mean too much?
It was
like too much violence.
It just
too much violence.
It was me. I don't know. It was
too much brooding build up too.
I don't know. The ending of it. I mean, I could rewatch it, but it's really dark and like it's cynical even for me.
You don't like those?
Wow, this is very surprising.
No. Maybe this was just when it came out, but I was just like, man, this is.
I really.
He also doesn't like the one.
Funny, but
he doesn't like the one location isolation films either, where you're.
I didn't like Kill Bill Part 2 all that much. It's fine, I guess, but it's like just put it in part.
But you like Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah, I do.
That's in the one area.
But that's the thing. I don't know. Kill Bill Part 1 had kung fu fights and stuff, and then the second one doesn't really have any of that. It's not as good.
I think my top 3 would be, and these aren't in any particular order, Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, also great.
And then probably a toss-up between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are kind of in that top 3 for me.
I really liked Django.
Oh, man, yeah, that's really good, too.
So I don't know.
So maybe I got a top 4. That's my Mount Rushmore, is those 4 right there.
At the same time, though.
But I'm not like one of those guys, because as we've said, like there are Tarantino fanatics and haters, and I'm just kind of in between. I like his movies.
Yeah, I'll watch them.
But I mean, I'm not like an obsessive and like think Pulp Fiction's one of the. I mean, I guess when it came out, it was like really like. It was a real like groundbreaking because I guess everything that was trash in movies at the time or something. It was like a real surprising indie hit. But
that was the main reason people like True Romance too, or why it survived was the dialogue, or like his writing.
What do you guys think about him just riding off in the sunset and doing one more movie?
I don't believe him.
There's a TV show,
or he's going to transition to directing something else.
He's got a TV show about
like the idea that he starts like.
What do you mean directing something else?
Like TV.
He's got a TV show planned
or
after
like
his movie.
Or like mini series stuff. I just don't there's no. I mean, him just saying, "Oh, I want to be done with films." Like, oh, maybe, but
Steven Soderbergh said that 19 times.
That is a
and
great
he's come
point,
back
Mister.
to-
I'm retiring to become a painter. That liar.
Yeah, that lasted about 8 months.
What if he gave us like maybe he teamed up with someone to do like graphic novels or something cool?
Yeah,
That's
I mean, maybe.
that's what he supposedly is going to do is be a writer.
Who wants to do other
afterwards,
stuff?
or
Which I
so
mean,
I've
it's
read.
fine. I doubt it for reasons.
There's no way he'll stay away. He'll like contribute.
Like the
in
only
other
way I
ways.
could see it happening is if he like intentionally creates like a horrendous bomb that like just like ruins his standing and being able to like create like a profitable film.
He's got to make it.
And
come
so he
back
doesn't have a
afterwards.
choice. Like that's the only way he could really, because I mean I think that he'll still get offers, and I think some of those offers may be too good to freeze away.
I've
Write a
heard
movie,
like
man.
weird rumors, 2 rumors that obviously aren't going to happen because we already know what kind of he's doing next, but it would be cool to have him do a Star Trek movie or a horror movie.
I did not like the idea of the Star Trek
That would
movie.
be
I'm glad they
awesome.
tabled that.
I don't know.
No,
The horror was on the
absolutely
table
not.
originally before it became the movie critic.
That's not what I'm looking for. Not from him.
A horror movie would be pretty cool if he did that.
Yes, he could do that. That's if he did like.
I mean, a lot of his like that whole scene in Pulp Fiction in the basement. That half of Pulp
I
Fiction
guess
could be
forgot
considered
about
a
Death
horror
Proof.
movie.
That's kind of lower, but that's kind of
Dude,
by
I like the
design.
dialogue
It's
in Death
good.
Proof.
I love that movie. That's
But
probably
good.
one of
I
the
just
top
think that
3.
it's not just because of its unique, the unique structure and motivations for it.
Should we get into popcorn puzzles? Any more beefs? Did we cover the beefs sufficiently?
Gary Oldman not being in it enough.
I know Hopper, Walken, and Oldman. I just wish it'd been
Also,
more.
yeah, James Gandolfini not being in it enough, even though they're in they're all in it plenty. Like they're memorable for like not even having that much time. So
Yeah, that I would add that to my beefs is not having enough Goldman or Gary Oldman in it.
yeah,
You can call him Goldman. I'm pretty close.
But I don't know.
Quarantino, Goldman. We can just start.
Maybe it wouldn't have been as good if I don't know. It's hard to say.
What if they did like a spin-off? And
You know, I'm left wanting more, and maybe that's all they needed to do.
Gary Oldman wanted to do a spin-off of his character.
I read about that.
after it bombed.
Kind of cool.
There's no way. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into puzzles.
A sphincter says what?
What?
A sphincter says what?
What?
Exactly.
All right. So I have a couple of puzzles that are trivia points. Quentin Tarantino said that he never visited the set of the movie during the filming. That's puzzling to me.
That's not uncommon, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like it depends on like I just remember hearing like Charlie Kaufman like being like really involved in the production is unusual.
Well, I did read
And that's why I
further
think, yeah.
that he said that it for him he feels like it should be all or nothing. He says sometimes writers will come on and insert themselves and then bail and then come back, and it's like you either come and participate the whole time or don't
I think
go
that's
at all.
I think that's fair.
And that's
yeah.
a lot of what happens. They buy the script and then they'll just bring them back if they need touch ups, or they'll hire somebody else. But a lot of times they're just selling your product and then they just take it and run with it.
Yeah, but then he complains about.
Did he complain about this?
He complained about Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, but I mean that's because they changed it.
Well, I mean, if you were on set, that
Well, I mean, I think it's more that he's like he probably doesn't mind that they changed it, but it doesn't like that he's credited with it when it's been so much. It's been changed
When it's
as
been
much as
chopped
it
up
is.
so much, yeah.
So-
They basically took his screenplay and then kind of bastardized it into Natural.
Because I'm curious when did that come out? Because like was he in like a rising name at the time?
94
Natural Born Killers
was the
94?
next year, 94.
So
yeah.
mate, was it after Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah. No, same year. Sorry.
Same year.
Reservoir was 94 and then True Romance.
Well,
was
maybe
93.
I'm just.
I mean, he got money for Natural Born
yeah, as I
Killers.
say, it's like I'm just curious. Like,
It's
I
kind
bet
of,
he used both money to buy that car and then also.
I'm sure it was all connected or it was all going on at the same time. So I'm sure he's working
so
on
maybe
other
they
stuff.
didn't use him to market it, but I don't know.
I don't think so at the time.
Maybe
It
he's
wasn't
just
that
being
big.
honest and doesn't like it.
Well, I don't like it either, so that makes 2 of us. All right, here's a weird one that I maybe you can help me with. It says director Tony Scott slapped Patricia Arquette on set. He did so with her permission, and by the end of shooting, she was asking for the persuader, in quotation marks, to be able to act in key scenes.
Probably to make her cry or to get
Yeah, to get like an emotional reaction. Get
kind of like how Kubrick would torture what's her name,
Shelley Duvall.
I mean, Tony Scott's just trying to get her riled up.
Get
by
you,
slapping
it like
her.
gives you like a jolt of adrenaline, maybe, or like your blood rushing.
Man,
Get you into an animal
I
state.
don't know if I could even do that? Like slap a lady? Just, hey, will you slap me?
Well, but you're acting. It's part of your.
I don't know. This is weird.
What was it? It was like was it a gymnast? It was like a Russian gymnast or something who, like, before going on, or maybe it was a skater, got slapped twice by the coach, and all these people were, I think maybe it was Germany, but all these people online were freaking out, and then like the skater's like, no, this is our thing. This is just to get me amped up to go out. It's fine. Yeah, it's very funny. But that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's kind of like a coaching thing. You're like get it, snap, get focused,
get you angry,
get
and
set.
focus. Yeah.
Here's another one that was puzzling. Actually, well, you brought this up last week, and I thought it was funny, Taylor. In the DVD commentary, Quentin Tarantino admits that this is the most autobiographical movie he's ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can definitely tell him.
I mean, if you didn't know about his early life, that you wouldn't know that, which I didn't when I saw this. So
puzzling to me that he still kills drug dealers and takes cocaine.
Well,
No.
I mean that's kind of the thing. It's like a fantasy you would write about yourself.
Okay.
If Quentin Tarantino became Travis Bickle, this is basically like what you would get. Is kind of what he's saying. He's got that nerdy.
Yeah,
instead of comic books,
the fact
it's
that
movies.
he's a loser the way he is, and he does not catch on that this woman wouldn't just be hitting on him.
Yeah, randomly shows up at his apartment and wants to hang out with him.
It's not a great portrayal of yourself, but I think that it does come from an honest place of being like, yeah, no, he knew he wasn't that cool.
I do like his reaction. He's like, no, it was great. Like, I think it was awesome.
Yeah,
the whole night was a
good
great
time. Women usually aren't that down with hanging out with me.
You were like super interested in my comic books. It was
And then
dope.
I would think that some of the coming to Hollywood, I don't know if you ever tried being an actor, but I don't know, like the hilarious scene where he comes in and like the actor person goes into the audition, reads a line poorly, and they're like, "Yeah, great job. We'll let you know."
Yeah,
that has to be part of his.
Yeah, that's what it
process.
says. Like, so I mean, I think there's elements of it there, which maybe that's why he didn't want to. He was okay letting it go and not directing it
yeah, maybe.
because he's like, I don't need to. Yeah.
This was weird that I read. Jack Black appears in an early role as a theater usher in a deleted scene.
Oh, really?
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That's interesting. All right, my last puzzle, and you guys think of any other puzzles that we might have missed, but I'm interested to hear what you would think about whether or not this you would like this or dislike this. But the film was originally intended to end with both Clarence and Alabama dying, but Scott claims he had grown too attached to them and couldn't bear to kill them off. Quentin Tarantino was originally against the idea of sparing them, but was won over by Scott's reasoning.
That's not what I read.
What do you think?
So what I've read is what Tarantino wanted to do was Clarence was supposed to die, and then Alabama lived with the baby, basically because she had to turn to a life of crime to support herself. So there's a scene in Reservoir Dogs. He tried to connect the two films where somebody actually mentions, how's Alabama doing, like a throwaway line, because it was supposed to transverse in the next one because he wrote them at the same time.
Slater in Reservoir Dogs?
No, but it was supposed to be one of the other characters,
Knew of
Alabama because of her crime spree going on, because it was like a year later, and was supposed to connect with that.
She had the money and
it's like it became famous criminal after this Italian outfit suddenly gets shot up in a hotel with the LA police and everything like that. And so they were supposed to be more connected. Reservoir Dogs and True Romance and I guess Natural Born Killers in a way are all sort of like the same film, but like broken apart and kind of separated into chunks. And so it was kind of funny the way it was going to be connected, but I'm guessing it was probably more so to studios too for the ending, trying to give like a happy note to such a horror film that they probably, wanted them to change something.
I feel
else.
like you need the ending it has to have the tone this movie has.
It definitely does. It works perfectly.
I feel like if it, because it's kind of like a screwball ending in a way.
it is.
They don't come away unscathed.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
away.
But it's like it's just kind of like a comic farce of an ending.
Yeah.
You'd feel like a waste. All those other people
Yeah.
that get killed if you invested all this time. And
It's not. Again, it's like saying how it's No Country for Old Men. It's like that ending fits that tone of No Country for Old Men.
And this is
So
this works perfectly though too, because like Tarantino's films, especially with the later ones, you don't know which direction he's going to go.
Yeah.
How he's going to twist the ending, if they're going to.
I mean, that's when he got into all his historical revisionism.
No, I just mean like Reservoir Dogs, how you only have Steve Buscemi that survives. you never know who's going to get killed or who's going to come out.
He does.
in the end.
Yeah, I guess he does do that.
And so
quite
it,
a few of
it
his
really builds the tension because you're
small
not sure.
location, Hateful Eight's similar to Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, you're not sure who's coming out of all this alive in the end.
It's interesting, Cole, you bring up that like maybe the studios pressured Tony to do that, and that actually
It definitely seems like a studio
we haven't
decision.
talked about this.
Well,
like the score.
Quentin Tarantino. Well, let's talk about that in a second. But Quentin Tarantino actually like called him out on it and saying, "Hey, are you just listening
hell?
to the producers
Suits?
and
Yeah.
the suits?" And he's like, "No, I just really like these guys. I just don't want them to die." So he convinced him, I guess. But yeah, what are you going to say about the
It's
score?
like because it's like the score actually I think is like it contributes to the strange fusion tone that the movie has.
I like
like
it
it's
so
like it's
much.
kind of an upbeat, cheery tone, really, and then with like some bass that's
I love the bass though because that bass starts coming in whenever like it starts to get tense on
it's
going
so
on there.
good. It's like
It
that
lures you into-
juxtaposition of the bass tones and that like light.
It lures you into a false sense of
Yeah.
security. That's what I like about it. Like everything's
cool.
happy and bright and everything's going to be cheerful, and then people start getting murdered.
and that what was that one review saying like that the main characters are thin. I think they are, but I think that's by design. Like it's like they're young 20-something. It's like a Romeo and Juliet thing where they're just kind of vapid, stupid young people.
They're finally like
who
leaving
just
their
kind
hometown.
of find themselves in kind of some interesting situations.
I mean, it's in the dialogue that she's like, I don't know why, but I've only met you for one day, but I love you. It's like, come on.
Yes, no, there are people.
Yeah.
This happens.
I'm not listen. I'm not saying that you can't love.
They are
someone.
dumb. They are dumb young people. But anyway,
All right.
Elizabeth Taylor married 5 times by the time she was 32.
that's right.
Did you guys have any other puzzles or anything we should talk about before we get into redemption?
Do you think you could sell a suitcase of cocaine?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know if I could. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have any contacts.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I could find a
and I
couple
wouldn't-
buyers. Maybe I don't know about
I
half a
wouldn't
million.
I wouldn't even know what to charge at this point.
I'd just be like, I would be like, hey, what would you pay for this? And then I would be like, all right, you got it sold.
That's what you go on the dark web and you research some prices, and then you go on that same dark web and start selling.
I don't even know how to get on the dark web. Okay, I can barely
You
get
gotta get some. Yeah.
the internet provider in my area can't even give me the dirty internet.
That's because yeah, that's true.
All right, let's get into popcorn redemption.
I have exorcised the demons.
All right, this is where we talk about things that we like. It was born because of a terrible movie that Cole picked called Macbeth.
Awesome movie.
And we wanted to just make sure we end on a high note in case we didn't like a film. So I only have one redemption, and I thought this was really cool. This is Tarantino's mom's favorite film of his, like that he.
It's probably
So
not.
she's one of the people I was talking about.
It's
One of
probably
people
the
who just
easier
wanna-
one to watch out of his catalog.
Just one of those people who just wants to dog on Tarantino's direction and just say he's bad at it.
Well, his mom loves him, and that's all that matters.
Or his mom is proud of the first screenplay he ever sold, which was this movie, which may be
Yeah.
her favorite.
Yeah, I like that. Anything else you like that you really liked about this before we give our final rating?
I like its breezy pacing. I don't know.
It really does flow pretty good. I honestly, one of the reasons I didn't like it was Christian Slater just seeming like a dork, and I mean, all he does now is appear on Archer or just random
Cutting a
animated
little
shows.
too close to home, huh? Maybe.
But then it's literally, it reminds me of like Jamie Foxx in Collateral when he walks in to face Gary Oldman, to get or to negotiate for
You mean
Alabama's release.
Javier? Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that same scene where he's got to pretend to be somebody else. He's got to put his foot down so these guys don't walk all over him.
A bunch of bravado.
And he gives him that empty envelope, and then you actually kind of like start, being more scared of Clarence or realizing like this guy doesn't mess around and actually, kind of start rooting
I mean,
for
he
him.
talks
Like,
to Elvis, man.
he can kind of pull this off. That part was awesome too. I want to know where that came from.
I think it's so cool that it's like punctuated so many times of these bangers of scenes with different actors.
It literally just keeps ramping it up. I like
and then
that.
it builds to this amazing shootout.
I know that his screenplays like usually like would have like actors he preferred roles. I wonder if this one did.
Oh.
I don't actually know.
I could definitely see that being the case.
'Cause, I mean,
he
there-
tends to write for who he wants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he also usually has like alternates if they're not available. So that's like definitely how he writes screenplays.
But at the same time, when you've got 500 pages and you've got 2 stories that can be broken up, you can
Yeah.
mix and match pieces. Roger Avery, Also responsible for Beowulf and Silent Hill. Silent Hill was the first one. That's where I recognize
Beowulf's
his name.
not great.
No, it's not.
Animation was amazing, though.
I wasn't animated. It doesn't count.
I think that's the first animated dong I saw.
It's screen capture. It's not, or motion capture.
It was amazing.
It's not
motion
animation.
capture.
In fact, I don't think it's like eligible to be nominated because of that reason. Like movies that were like that. Mars Meets Moms.
It was weird.
That movie.
Beowulf was. I remember watching it.
It didn't need to do what it did.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other redemption before we give our rating?
I'm glad that it wasn't Drew Barrymore and it wound up being Patricia Arquette instead.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know the Drew, but yeah.
There's a lot of names I read. I was going to put them in the pod, but I was like, I don't care. Like, well, I think Julia Roberts was in there. A couple other. It's like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is fine. She was great.
Yeah, the crime-solving psychic.
I like Patricia Arquette in this. It was good. She was.
I think she fits the role as dumb, flighty kind of. But I mean, not too dumb. She's kind of got some street wisdom to her when it comes to like talking to those to James Gandolfini.
A little bit, yeah.
She's got a little bit of
The bubble-headed bleach blonde that's also an animal.
yeah.
These ones are hard for me to rate because it's not a movie that like I'm like itching to watch all the time.
Yeah.
Because I've only seen it twice, but it's good.
Yeah.
I would give it. I'm gonna give it a large bucket, man.
Yeah, it's like I'd give it, a good amount of stars. Like it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite Tarantino movie, but it's so breezy and watchable. Like, I mean, I get why some people like latch onto it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is me.
This is my personality.
I will find this hot woman and I will murder for her. I feel like it could kind of appeal to that fantasy, but
I'm not Travis. I deserve to get a woman in the end.
that's right.
Yeah. So we got a large bucket. We got a good amount of stars. What do you give it, Cole?
I give
this
it
is your pick.
4 stars.
4 out of 4.
It was tense and it just kept building and like kept me on edge, and like I kept wanting to look up the ending to see what happened because you actually do start caring about them, and like just the random assortment of who's going to pop up, who's going to die, what famous person's going to be in this role. Like it's just amazing.
It is impressive.
The way everything comes together into this like film, it's pretty cool.
It's impressive
cool.
that the characters don't become grating in spite of like being
Yes,
stupid.
exactly.
Like Brad Pitt's character is great throughout.
You still root for everybody, even though they're all
I think
dumb.
Brad Pitt's character is created as like a plot device to like conveniently allow the like progression to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But he just nails it.
That's how you cut it down to 2 hours rather than
I
3.
think of all the characters that I read about, he improvised all of his stuff.
Just I feel like it wouldn't have surprised me if you just like I have friends who
But this is after Thelma and Louise, so I'm guessing this is Tony Scott being like, "Hey, this guy worked out
that
pretty
was
good."
Ridley Scott.
Sorry,
Yeah,
but
Ridley
same
Scott.
production company. So this
okay.
was after Thelma. I'm guessing word got around. He's easy to work
It's
with.
so surprising that this movie did so poorly.
Yeah, it is odd. Maybe it's the wrong time.
But this is kind of the culmination of the violent film.
Maybe
of the
like
90s
the
right here, the
like,
fatigue.
wrong time, maybe bad marketing. There's
don't
lots of
know.
things.
Because this is right before we shifted to sci-fi.
I feel like if this had come out after Pulp Fiction, it would have done gangbusters. That's my bet on that.
I know
If it was after Tarantino had a name,
they would have compared it to Pulp Fiction so hard if it had come afterwards, because if Pulp Fiction had landed as good as it was and as polished as it was,
I guess.
True Romance would have been plowed right over and like nitpicked and criticized way.
I don't
worse.
know.
I think so.
I think people would have been.
I think with Pulp Fiction's cast and then you like roll out True Romance with everybody in it the way it is, they're going to feel underutilized, or they're going to feel
I don't
like
know how
cheated.
I don't know how you sell this.
They'll say it's the exact same kind of spinoff as Tarantino did before. It's good that Tony Scott did this because I think it actually took pressure off Quentin when he's first starting off, because otherwise people would have had like nitpicked that.
Oh man, there's
more.
again, the autobiographical stuff makes me think that him directing it would have been a disaster.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why.
No, that too. I mean,
and
even
also the fact that this is like it starts off in like industrial Detroit and then it goes to like sunny California. I just feel like that's a lot for a first movie. I mean, I don't know.
well, no, I
But
mean,
it
like,
seems to be more than a lot of
seems
people
like
do.
It would be, yeah.
I mean, even if it was the same, like if True Romance had been Tony Scott with Quentin writing it after Pulp Fiction, you still would have gotten everyone like picking it apart and trying to compare it to Pulp Fiction because you have that
probably.
similar dialogue style. It would have been worse.
Would have been kind of like the Aaron Sorkin, Joss Whedon thing.
Yeah.
Their style of dialogue can bother people.
way too much Molly's Game.
Yeah. Dude, I like Molly's Game.
No, I mean like way like over the top.
Who wrote that?
That was Sorkin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that movie.
He directed that too, I think, written and directed. We need to do an ADHD podcast. That's what we need to do. Just jump around
Just,
from random
just
topics.
random movies. Do you like free association movies?
Oh man. Well, I'm glad you picked this. And when you said it, I was like, oh, I don't want to watch that. I remember feeling kind of squeamish but it's good.
I can't remember what it was going to be American Fiction or Drive Away Dolls were the other two choices because I forgot.
The weird Coen brother movie.
Joel Coen, yeah.
That movie sounds the story behind that still is like eye opening. Like what?
Yeah, I'm guessing he got bored during a road trip and just started writing a
it's
movie.
like his lesbian wife and like it's like how do you convince someone who starts off saying she's a lesbian and isn't into you and get her to get married to you and have a kid? Yeah, I don't know. That story seemed crazy. I didn't.
Wait,
that's what I'm saying. That's why that movie exists.
Is Ethan married to Frances or is it Joel that's married to Frances?
I don't know. I think it's Joel who's married to Frances. Ethan.
That's a lesbian?
No, Frances McDormand's not the lesbian. The one who co-wrote
Drive Away
Dolls with
Joel. I thought Joel wrote.
I thought it was Ethan.
No, Joel,
you know what? They only have one Wikipedia page, so I think we're safe on
No,
this.
Joel wrote it.
They do not have individual Wikipedia pages. I'm just gonna say this. It's
Joel wrote and directed that.
I can't believe that we always.
It can't be. It's got to be Ethan.
No, it's Joel. I'm looking it up right now. It's Joel.
I'm just laughing because we always end our part twos with just some random like.
This isn't my fault.
All right.
It's half and half.
Okay. I just want to zip up this suitcase full of cocaine and call it a day. I appreciate you guys.
I'm looking it up. I don't trust him not to lie to me.
I swear it was Joel.
It's Ethan. I was right.
What? Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
just messing with me. Joel Cohen's the one who's married to Frances McDormand.
Okay. That I did.
That's why.
maybe I
that's
should
why
just
she was in
read
the one
my
movie,
outro
Macbeth
over
movie.
your guys' voices.
But I thought they both worked on that.
No, that was like their first like
That was the first split?
doing separate stuff for a bit. Yeah.
Maybe if I do this, it's like the Oscars where like we're
Playing us off.
playing you guys off.
Get off the stage.
Well, that's it for this week. But I'm with you always. Look for me in the cloud at Popcorn Priest. I love movies and would love it if you share the love. Share this with the people. Just share it with everyone. It helps us out. Another way to support the show is by giving me money. Visit patreon.com/Popcorn Priest and see what extra perks you can enjoy. If you made it this far, go give us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I command thee. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks to my reoccurring guests, Cole and Taylor. I really appreciate you guys. And
Yeah.
remember, when you watch movies, you can pop off, pop in, or pop out, but always bring the popcorn.